The dazzling brilliance of Pedro Neto lit up the city ground, guiding Chelsea to a crucial victory, one that lifts them to 14 points after 8 games, temporarily placing them 6th in the Premier League table. It was a fiery afternoon that Blues fans will remember for a long time, as the Portuguese winger became the beating heart of a performance that carried Chelsea from early struggles to a triumphant finish. Notably, this was Chelsea's first match since Christmas 2023 without Moises Caicedo in the starting lineup. The Ecuadorian midfielder was left on the bench, while Enzo Fernandez remained sidelined through injury. With head coach Enzo Maresca suspended after his red card in the win over Liverpool 2 weeks ago, the Italian had no choice but to place his faith in a youthful midfield duo, Romeo Lavia and Andre Santos. A raw combination, yes, but one bursting with energy. On the other side, Nottingham Forest made as many as 5 changes, with striker Chris Wood ruled out due to an injury picked up on international duty. That opened the door for Taiwo Awoniyi, but what followed turned into an afternoon of missed chances and frustration for the home side. From the very first whistle, Chelsea looked unsettled, miscontrols, misplaced passes, and a lack of rhythm. Within the opening minute, they were nearly punished when Anderson spun sharply in the box, only to trip over his own feet at the decisive moment. Moments later, errors from Lavia and Akimpong gifted Morgan Gibbs-White 2 clear looks at goal, both of which flashed narrowly wide. But the visitors survived the early storm, and once they did, instinct took over. In the 42nd minute, João Pedro dropped deep to collect the ball and released a perfectly measured long pass to Andre Santos, who broke the offside trap and went one-on-one with the keeper. The entire stadium held its breath, but Santos's shot rolled agonizingly wide of the post. Just before halftime, Pedro Neto gave Forest their warning, cutting in from the right flank and curling a left-footed strike that whistled just over the bar, a sign of what was to come. Then came the second half, and with it, the storm. Chelsea brought on Caicedo to solidify the midfield, but the man who truly changed the game was Pedro Neto. In the 49th minute, Neto whipped in a perfect cross, met by Akimpong's powerful header at close range to make it 1-0. Only 3 minutes later, Neto struck again, this time with a moment of pure magic. A stunning free kick that sailed over the wall and slammed into the top corner, sending the away fans into absolute delirium. On paper, Pedro Neto started on the right wing in Chelsea's 4-2-3-1 system, but in reality he was everywhere, free, fearless, and electric. He wasn't just a winger, he was the pulse of every Chelsea attack, constantly drifting inside, swapping roles with João Pedro, and even popping up on the left flank. Neto's movement tore Nottingham Forest's defense apart and turned the game into chaos they simply couldn't contain. It was only the second time in his Premier League career that Neto both scored and assisted in the same match, and the first time he did so away from home. A milestone that perfectly captured not just his form, but his evolution. This was, without question, his finest performance of the season, and perhaps his best ever in a Chelsea shirt. Beyond the goals and assists, Neto dictated Chelsea's rhythm like an unspoken playmaker. Every touch was confident, sharp, and purposeful. His link-up with captain Reece James down the right was constant danger, turning that flank into Chelsea's main artery of attack. The stats told the story: 23 out of 29 passes completed, 79% accuracy, 4 key passes, 1 big chance created, 3 accurate crosses out of 4, and a successful one-on-one dribble. Efficiency, creativity, intelligence, all wrapped in explosive pace and elegant control. The final minutes were pure chaos, a mix of luck, heart, and sheer will. Nottingham Forest threw everything forward, forcing Chelsea to defend desperately. Neco Williams fired over an open goal. Robert Sanchez turned hero, denying Milenkovic and Sangare with 2 stunning saves. Then, in a jaw-dropping moment, Igor Jesus' close-range shot crashed off the bar, hit the post, and somehow stayed out before Chelsea cleared. When the final whistle blew, relief turned into roaring celebration. Chelsea hadn't been perfect, far from it, but they had what mattered most: 3 points, belief, and the feeling that something special might just be building. Chelsea's victory at the City Ground strengthened their place among the Premier League's top sides. Yet even on a bright afternoon, one dark cloud lingered. Alejandro Garnacho. Handed a start on the left wing, the Argentine was expected to bring pace, flair, and unpredictability. Instead, he looked lost. 45 ineffective minutes later, he was subbed off at halftime, a clear sign of the coaching staff's growing impatience. According to SofaScore, Garnacho failed to record a single shot or key pass, lost possession 6 times, and completed just one successful dribble. Yes, his passing accuracy stood at 88%, 7 of 8, but nearly all were safe, sideways, or backward balls, adding nothing to Chelsea's attack. In a team where competition for places is ruthless, such a timid display is almost a self-elimination from Enzo Maresca's long-term plans. While Pedro Neto and João Pedro continue to thrive and adapt seamlessly, Garnacho seems uncertain, lacking confidence and the killer instinct that once made him one of Argentina's most exciting prospects. But Garnacho's struggles weren't Chelsea's only concern. Amid the celebrations, the day's only sour note came in the 87th minute when Malo Gusto picked up a senseless red card. With Chelsea leading 3-0 and the game wrapped up, the French fullback lunged recklessly into a needless tackle, earning his second booking and leaving the pitch in frustration. Watching from the stands, the suspended Maresca could only shake his head. It was Chelsea's 5th red card of the season, including players and staff, a number that should alarm everyone at the club. The red card addiction that fans once joked about is now a serious issue. In 4 of their last 6 matches, Chelsea have finished with 10 men. No team chasing titles can afford that level of self-sabotage. Worse still, Gusto's challenge wasn't even a desperate or defensive play. It was pure impulse, the mark of immaturity. At a club like Chelsea, such lapses can cost far more than a single match. Repeated red cards don't just reduce numbers on the pitch, they chip away at morale, rhythm, and belief. A side dreaming of glory cannot keep tearing itself apart through moments of reckless emotion. Discipline isn't optional, it's fundamental. Unless Maresca and his staff fix this, Chelsea risk undoing all their progress with one hot-headed decision at a time. Next up, Chelsea return to Stamford Bridge to face newly promoted Sunderland, the surprise package of the season. On paper, it's an opportunity to extend their winning run. But in reality, Sunderland sit right behind Chelsea on the table, level on 14 points after 8 rounds. This won't be an easy ride. With suspensions and injuries piling up, Pedro Neto will again carry the weight of Chelsea's hopes. His brilliance against Nottingham Forest not only secured 3 points, but reignited belief throughout the squad. If the Portuguese star can sustain that form, Chelsea's ambitions, in both the Premier League and Europe, may soon start to feel real again.